Okay, in this video we're just going to talk about the manual focus guide on Lumix cameras, and this is available in a few different series of cameras. There's in the S series and some of the GH series, so it's not specific to this camera, but it is specific to kind of lenses. So we're going to kind of talk about like how that works, and this is all based on manual focus. So if you haven't seen the manual focus kind of overview and video I've done before, check that out up in the corner, and that should give you a run through of everything you kind of need to know. But in this we're specifically just going to have a look at this guide feature, and I'd been asked a couple of questions about it, so I thought I'd just kind of explain it in this video. So if we go into menu, and then you'll want to be in the cog or the gear, and then in the AF settings menu, which is the second one down in the second row, and then you can see we've got MF guide, and it's got an M next to it in mine, and that is the default how it's kind of set. So you've got M and FT dot and then off, and they're all your options for it essentially. So I'm not sure, as I don't have my hands on other cameras in other regions, but I would assume that this is actually different across the regions, but because I'm in the UK, I've got meters and feet essentially is what that means. So you might be seeing something different on there, because I imagine the measurements are changed sort of region specific. So I just keep mine at meters. Like I say, you can have it at feet or you can have it switched off, and essentially what it does is when you've got the you won't really be able to see a lot in this because none of my lenses will be able to focus, but we're just really looking at this. So what we've got is a kind of a range from one end to the other, and the flower in this range always signifies close up. So that's kind of your what you'd maybe call the macro end of the range, or the close up end of the range anyway, and then which we still can't hit focus on unfortunately in this, but and then you've got like the other end of the range, so it's kind of signified by the mountains. So you've got the the furthest point you could kind of focus, and then with this lens you can kind of see we've got all these notches in between that are kind of not really that useful because we don't really know what they mean or do anything. So it's not that great, and that is partially all down to the lens that you're using. So if your lens doesn't have that, you can just switch that off and not have that on the screen. If you don't want that taking up real estate on the screen, just switch it off. But what you'll actually find is, so I've got like a few different lenses here. This is an older lens, the 45 to 150. So on that it doesn't actually work, so we could take that off and I could swap it for a couple of lenses. Actually the 25mm, the sort of old 25mm 1.7, that one doesn't support it, but kind of newer lenses like the 35 to 100, I've got the 100 to 300 Mark II there, that supports it. So we'll put the 35 to 100 on, and you'll be able to see the kind of difference that is sort of available between the two. So if we take that off, if you actually bought the kit lens version of your camera as well, it's very likely that will work. I can tell you for definite that on the MFT versions, I've got the 12 to 60 Leica, and that does work, but it's filming this video, so I can't show you that at the moment, but that 100% does work. And if you click it on again, we've got a different lens, but we don't have any new options. But what you'll find is when you turn the dial, now we've actually got markings on there. It sort of dropped the generic kind of far and near points, and now you can actually see, that would be an 8 meter focus, 4 meter, 2 meter, 1 meter. So when you're kind of throwing your focus, it just gives you a really good idea of where, or roughly where the focus is at. So you can kind of get a bit more of an accurate reading of quickly where it is, where it's supposed to be, and it just gives you quite a good, well, as it says, it gives you a good guide of where it is. So it can be really useful, but like I say, you need the right lenses to work with it, and it's quite a good little option. It's sort of similar to the manual version of what we were talking about with in another video. I'll link it up in the corner, but we talked about the sensor plane indicator on there and sort of how that works, and it's essentially like having that in camera. It's just telling you where your focus is and sort of, you know, where it should be. So it's yeah, it's quite a useful little feature, but like I say, it's limited a little bit to some lenses. I don't know, I've sort of had a look, but I don't know of any comprehensive list that tells you about which lenses support it, which lenses don't. But like I say, from my sort of working with it, it really just seems like, you know, these newer lenses, certainly all the Mark II lenses, and like I say, the newer kit lens that comes with the camera, they all seem to work fine with it. It's just some of the older lenses that don't have support for it. So yeah, hopefully you found that helpful. If you have, give the video a like. If you want to see more content like this, then please check out the playlist on this channel, and please subscribe.